Hey, what's up guys, it's your boy Z Death here, and I know that I haven't made a video in a while. I'm sorry, I've been inactive. Anyways, let's get over with that. Today's tutorial is on how to create this sort of indent type of texture right here. Not texture, sorry, text. Where you have where it's like indented into the background like you see below, or in your screen, whatever. But I actually like this type of, I like this method that I've used. This is just a way that I like to use. I'm not saying that you have to use this either. I'm just going to show you on how I do it. And this is actually pretty interesting in my, what I believe, because if you see, here's a texture, and it's just like, this is what it looks like. It looks like it's indented into the texture. It looks really nice, and I just believe it's really nice. That's all I've got to say about it. Anyways, I'm going to show you how to do that without any like Cinema 4D stuff, without anything, just Photoshop. I believe this could work for anything really, for any Photoshop. I believe. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Anyways, let's get started. So I start out with my typical layout, 1920 by 1080p, and let's go to my textures thing. And by the way, guys, you can get this from my 300k, my 300 subs GFX pack. I just put out a video today or yesterday or whatever day I put it out, and it has my textures that most of the textures I use, and I use the fabric. I like it, and so let's move strip this out for a second. And there we go. Okay, so first off, just to give it a little bit better lighting, I'm gonna mess with it a little bit, and I like that a little bit. Yeah, I like that. Anyways, so let's get started with some texture, not texture art, the text. And I'm using Batman Forever Alternate, so just to let you guys know. Anyways, I start out with usually a white font. I like the white font because you can change it, you can mess around with it. And let's use Control T and smush that together, make it a little bigger. I'm just gonna mess around with this. This is just for tutorial purposes only. You don't have to follow me exactly. Yeah, just make that a little bigger. And yep, I like that. And the first thing that I like to do is go to blending option. You right click the indent, you right click your text, go to blending option, and then I just automatically click drop shadow, bevel, emboss, and color overlay. So I go to overlay, and I just change, oh no, not overlay, sorry, you keep it normal. I just change the color of the text I want. I'll usually start out lighter before I start doing anything else, but anyways, if you notice right now, it looks like it's out of the texture. It's the usual, and we're gonna get to that. First off, let's start off with bevel and emboss. To start this off, you go to opacity for highlight mode of white. Change the opacity to 0. As you notice, it'll get rid of that white like color at the top. It just gets rid of that like sort of glossy feeling that I believe it has. And you change, and this is all in shading. Change the angle to like something around like 16 degrees. Like, I just try to keep it over in the bottom right hand area, and if you notice, it changes like the shadow a little bit. Now go to structure, and I'm gonna mess with this a little later. I don't entirely finish, like this is all off of like ideas and stuff that I have, and I change soften to 16 automatically, and you notice that it gets rid of some of that like hardness right there. And I just mess around, and I change the depth to I don't know, around like 300 something 300. I just mess around with it. Okay, hold on. Before we go any further with bevel and emboss, go to drop shadow, change the black to white, and change change blend mode to overlay. Change angle to 90 degrees. Change your size to 0, and feel free to pause the video if you want to, and just go back to whatever you want. And so I just mess around with this. I just try to make it look alright, and I'm just messing around with like opacity settings a little bit here and there. Now I'm going to keep the distance at 1 pixel. Oh, my bad. And I'm just going to change spread size a little bit. If you notice, it drops that like sort of glowy feeling. We're going to change that later, but we're just getting rid of that drop shadow, but just to keep it at like that glowy feeling around it. So we're back at bevel and emboss, and we're changing the angle to 26 at the moment, and just mess around with the size, whatever looks good. Change the depth to about like 164, and then now you go to color overlay and you just change it to like a darker color, whatever color looks best, and then you start messing around with settings, make it look better than it did, and just change size a little bit. And if you notice now, it has that shadowy feeling in it, like it just looks indented in it, it looks all clean. Just mess around with the opacity of the like the drop shadow, and it just makes it so that like the opacity will just change how much white is gonna come up. I'm just messing around with that, tweaking it a little bit. Don't want it to come up too much, but still have that feeling that it's there. And if you notice, like that, it still has that like indent feeling, but it's like the sun, or where your light source is over here. And I change that from direction, up or down. I usually keep it at up, just to have that like light, like the light source up in the top left hand corner. And yeah, I think it looks nice now. No matter where you move it, it's gonna like keep that like like that drop shadow feeling. And it's like, I usually change it to like overlay or something. Doesn't really do anything, but I think you can mess around with settings and nothing much really. I think it looks nice. In my opinion, it looks nice for a tutorial. And if you notice, like right here too, I like this feeling too, where it actually shows your texture and everything, because like it actually looks like it's indenting, like how everything looks all cut into, like the texture is cut into like it's metal. But anyways guys, that's been the tutorial. I'm out. Peace.